when people are making those kind of decisions, those decks like Dredge and Charbelcher, which are often just decks that people play because a particular class of people like them,
Yeah.
those actually become legitimate metagame calls. And it's important to be kind of conscious of when that stuff is the case, because there's times where it actually is correct to be walking into the tournament with Goblin Charbelcher, and this is not the first time we've seen Charbelcher make a deep run during a Star City Games Open. So
no, I don't want you to think this is the end-all be-all deck. Why I'm a big fan of Goblin Charbelcher, I think that much is obvious. When Rug is a major player in the format, and a deck like Counterbalance, Counterbalance is kind of being pushed away because of Abrupt Decay. But when those are big decks in the format, yeah, you'd be crazy to play Charbelcher.
yeah,
Rug's a deck that has Force of Will, it has Stifles, it has Spell Pierces and Dazes, and
kills you on
clock.
turn 4.
Yeah, just no thank you. And if they ever assemble Counterbalance plus Sensei's Divining Top and they have Force Wills in their deck, again, no thank you. But if people are going to be playing Abrupt Decays and people are going to be moving their Force of Wills out of their deck and Bloodbraid Elves are everywhere and people are moving towards Punishing Fire, then you're in a good situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not too surprising given what the metagame has looked like so far that we've had on camera today, to see Goblin Charbelcher in the finals.
Yeah. Not a huge surprise at all. So we do see both players shuffling up here. Stay tuned after this game, of course, as we will be giving away the full year of Premium.
Yes.
After this game, it could be a quick one, so don't go anywhere.
Right. This could be awfully fast.
The important thing here for Tony is that he does get to play first.
And he has to mulligan. He has to mulligan aggressively.
Yeah, he has to. The same thing that Owen did. Owen mulliganed aggressively for a Thoughtseize in game 1. Which is something that he needed to do. I think Tony will be on the same plan. I think Tony does know that.
Yeah. Shuffling up, Griffin had to take a little break there. Obviously, that last game was pretty exciting, and so
yeah, a bit of a sweat.
Yeah,
bit of a sweat.
It was fun, man. I like that stuff. It's fun to watch, even if I'm not doing coverage. Getting to witness moments like that.
Now we've got the
Totally
tweets
sweet.
coming in here. A lot of caps. Belcher in the finals! Exclamation points. We got some Belcher fans at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deck that understandably has its following, right? There's not really anything else in Legacy like this. All the other combo decks that are super fast are basically, they still have brainstorms and ponders and stuff. Charbelcher is trying to do it faster, and they're just kind of trying to raw dog it, and that's just so much more fun to watch. Every time I see Belcher on camera, it seems like they draw the one Taiga a disproportionate amount of the time.
It's because they do.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing.
Or it's the double land grant hand.
Yeah, sure.
The Taiga land grant hand. It's pretty frustrating.
Do you ever sideboard out land grant, like a land grant or two, in games that go long?
What games go long?
Like in matchups where you might have to build up, where you're playing against something like Esper Blade, where maybe you have to fire off a second time.
We're just dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just dead.
There is no such thing as a long match with Belcher. Either
Okay.
they're dead or you're dead.
Okay.
Just the way I like it. Cook 'em raw.
So Griffin keeping his head, and Tony mulliganing. Not sure if it was for lack of lands or lack of disruption. We have just discovered an exciting trivia question.
Yes, we have quite the trivia question for you guys for the full year of Premium. I am stoked.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That's really good.
Isn't it good? I went deep in the tank there. You guys are going to be excited at home.
That's a
I'm
good
stoked.
one.
Our director is shaking our head. He's shaking his head at us.
Yeah, that's how we did.
Don't you give me that look.
That's how you know we did good.
Yeah. It's a fitting end
Yeah.
to the weekend. See these players shuffling away here. If you guys are just joining us, Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, final round of Star City Games Open Series in Atlanta. We do appreciate you guys joining us over the course of this weekend. Yesterday we did break our peak viewership. At one point we were at 8,600 viewers, so we appreciate you guys watching at home a ton.
Yeah, and a lot of excitement over the new standard format, obviously, and I'm glad that everyone got to share it with us.
If you guys do want to join in the conversation, including you other Belcher enthusiasts, at SCG Live, or you can hashtag SCGATL for SCG Atlanta. Join in with us as we do conclude our tournament and crown another champion, as Tony is looking at his hand and knows he's probably at a bit of a disadvantage, but he's going to keep because I think he's got a Thoughtseize.
Yeah, that looked like he got a Thoughtseize.
And Griffin is already kept, and he has his land already, so you were right.
Yeah.
probably gets flooded a lot in normal Magic. Only makes sense.
All right. Let's see what the goods are here.
Let's take a look, Ski.
Taiga.
Tinderwall, Pyretic Ritual, Seething Song, Land Grant, Empty the Warrens, and Goblin Charbelcher.
I mean, when I saw the one whiteboard card, so I knew he had the Taiga, but I didn't know there was also a land.
Yeah,
of course, there's a land
Yeah,
grant.
we call that the Belcher Lick and Stick. They always come together somehow.
Said,
Tony pushes Tony pushes the land grant back and was saying, "Yeah, you can. That's not going.
Yeah,
anywhere.
that's one's fine. It's rough here for Tony because he's actually redundant in both mana and in win conditions, so it's hard to cut him off from. You can't really cut him off from anything entirely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the cards you want to count here, what you want to do is you want to break up one of the starters, hopefully, and that's the one that you want to take. Now, there are a lot of redundant starters in this situation. You know, if you take one of the starters, he starts with Taiga, but playing a Taiga is a risk because of Wasteland. So you know, if you take the Seething Song there, he can't get from 3 to 5. But getting from 3 to 5 isn't that big of a deal if he can get from 3 to 4.
I mean, Griffin almost certainly doesn't play the Taiga, right? Especially since he doesn't have to discard anyway now that he's gotten Thoughtseized.
Yeah, there's no reason to play the Taiga here.
And he's actually just drew Simian Spirit Guide, so he might just kill him or effectively kill him here.
Yeah. So what he can do, he does have a starter back. He's going to play that. He can remove the Simian Spirit Guide, play the Ritual, get up to 3 mana. Seething Song will push him up to 5, and then it'll be a small Empty the Warrens because Simian Spirit Guide doesn't count as a spell. So this will be, I believe this will be 8 goblins. Actually, this is only going to be 6 goblins, so he could just Charbel. Oh, he's going to land grant. Okay, so it's going to be 8 goblins. He's going to show this, say that I don't have another land in my deck. He'll shuffle, and then he can play Empty the Warren to make 8 goblins, or he could just play Goblin Charbelcher naked. But I would, if I were him, I would do this.
Okay.
Go this route and hope that Tony doesn't have his one outer of Maelstrom Pulse.
Sure.
Now, 8 goblins on turn 1. I mean, this isn't a for sure win.
Yeah, even if he goes, you know, Tarmogoyf, Liliana the Veil, right? He can actually hold off.
Yeah. You just it's simple, really. It's just playing 2 guys.
He has just drawn Deathrite Shaman. That's valuable.
So there's Deathrite Shaman. Now, Dark Confidant isn't one that's going to do it.
And
here come the idiots.
7. And Tony actually also had a Thoughtseize in his hand that he mulliganed into, so it was very important for Griffin to go for it that exact turn.
Yeah. So
another Deathrite Shaman.
Now the interesting thing here, Patrick, is that the reason why this is probably not going to end up working out for Tony is because Thoughtseize dealt him 2, and he had to crack a fetch land to take 1, so he actually dealt 3 to himself.
Yep.
So that might be the one thing that kind of breaks his back in this game, is that he had to deal damage to himself. I think if he wouldn't have had to, we see a different game here.
Yeah, just being able to block against the Empty the Warrens plan can actually be good in some spots. Tony doesn't have quite enough life to play around with, and the other problem is one of his blockers is Dark Confidant. So
well, actually, the interesting thing here is that Dark Confidant actually ends up working out as a great blocker, and the reason for that is because Dark Confidant's going to be able to trade with one of the Goblin tokens, Deathrite Shaman's going to be able to get in front of another one, and then the Deathrite Shamans that he does have are going to be able to block, and then he can remove the Dark Confidant to gain 2 life.
But what happens if it feels like there's some argument there for Griffin just say go, right? And just wait until you actually have something approaching lethal?
There is some.
I mean, we're fizzling out now, right? Like we've run out of goblins. He's going to gain 2. This attack is going to be pretty close to a push, and now we can't attack anymore.
Yeah, he shoves in here, and yeah, he snap blocks here. And the other thing to keep in mind as well is that Griffin has a Tinderwall in his graveyard. So Tony's actually at 2 right now, but he can go up to 6, and now he's going to stave off elimination.
Yeah, I felt there that Griffin just needs to not attack. He needs to pick a spot where he can attack for basically lethal, because losing an extra goblin and giving these Deathrite Shamans all this fuel, he can't win through Empty the Warrens anymore. I mean, he now has to go off through Charbelcher.
That's the thing where the Simian Spirit Guide, is a good draw there, because it allows him to quote unquote go off, but it really would have been much more important if it was a spell,
like a Chromox or
just anything that
Rite
can
of Flame.
Anything that can add to the storm count there. I'm going to draw a Verdant Catacombs. I'm just going to pass back.
Yeah, now we're in a holding pattern here.
Yep. You see a Simian Spirit Guide. The attacks are poor here. I can't imagine getting in here just to get him 1 point of damage.
Can he actually get his Can he cast a Charbelcher? It looks like he has.
If he has a Rite of Flame and he has a Simian Spirit Guide, he can go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, and play Goblin Charbelcher. And I don't hate that play at all, simply because, you know, he plays a Charbelcher, gets it into play, and then he's drawing to Lion's Eye Diamonds to be able to go off.
Yep.
Which isn't the worst thing in the world. Now, alternatively, one thing that he can do here is he can save those cards, draw himself into a Burning Wish, and Burning Wish into a Goblin War Strike,
and just
put him
lava spike him.
Yeah, put him to the nug.
So we're out of creatures at this point, right? At this point, we're just burning with our Deathrite Shamans?
I believe that is the case. The
okay.
player there on the bottom, I'm fairly sure that the Dark Confidant is gone, as is the Tinderwall.
We can't really cast Thoughtseize because we just died to the attack. We have 2 blockers against 3 goblins, and so.
And does just pass the turn back. Griffin takes a draw step. He's doing a nice job of rebuilding thus far. Another Simian Spirit Guide. He's getting very, very close now. 2 up to 3, 3 up to 2 up to 3, 3 up to 4, up to 6. So he's a mana short here, but he doesn't have to move he doesn't have to move everything in if one of those cards is a Rite of Flame. Now, if it's a double Desperate Ritual, it's different.
Yep.
You can see him counting, and if you're Tony, you got to be a little bit scared right now.
Oh, of course.
And just pass the turn back. Deathrite Shaman activation's going to get Griffin for 2. He's going to actually gain 2 life. Okay, so the Tinderwall is still over there. Okay.
So now we can actually Thoughtseize now. We have enough of a cushion.
And I think that's exactly what you're going to see. Liliana the Veil, also an excellent draw there. Yep. So we're going to see Liliana the Veil. I think if I am Griffin there, I want to put out the Goblin Charbelcher.
Because of exactly this scenario?
Yeah. I just want to do it. Well, you know, what he's done now is he's really given away that he's trying to set something up because he's looking so much at his hand. You know, that's the big deal. Giving away that, you know, I actually do have something over here. It's not just a handful of rituals.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see Liliana tick up. Here, I would discard one of the Simian Spirit Guides.
Well, he still needs to be able to be able to draw Burning Wish and win, right? Like, the problem with discarding a creature is now Deathrite Shaman can push up to 5 and War Strike's no longer an out.
Sure. I want to be able to have my redraws of an Empty the Warrens be good.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I'm just going to discard Tinderwall, a card that he can't actually cast. Take a draw step. And he does just pass back, so now Liliana's beginning to really take over here.
Another Liliana activation. Seething Song down. Another ritual.
Yep, they are redundant. He is just looking for one of those win conditions. And you see just how good Deathrite Shaman is in Legacy. As he has 2 1/2s that are just doming Griffin over and over and over again. And Griffin only has spells really to discard.
And how much different is this game if Deathrite Shaman's a 1/1? It's not even close.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's completely different.
It's every piece of the puzzle matters.
Yeah.
Are we contemplating going ultimate with Liliana here or something? Okay.
Discard a card. Tony ready to discard. Griffin going to discard a Desperate Ritual. Griffin draws a card. It is another Desperate Ritual, going to pass the turn back.
And this is now Deathrite Shaman, I think, just kills him?
I'm not quite sure if it is lethal yet. I don't think that it is.
Is he out of spells?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tony draws a card. This one looks like it's probably relevant, as he is looking at it quite a bit here. The tough part here for Griffin now is you're going to see Bloodbraid Elf. Yeah, might as well spin the wheel, right? Dark Confidant.
Ooh.
Yeah, are we going to cast that one?
Yeah, I guess Bloodbraid Elf is I
things have gotten a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I guess the reason that he tanked so long there is it's not clear if it's better to cast Bloodbraid Elf or just keep running the Deathbright Shamans.
So here comes Bloodbraid Elf, and he does have to get in front. Liliana's going to tick up. And so here's the interesting thing too, Patrick, is that if Griffin does go off with whatever quote-unquote go off means, then it's going to involve him casting instants and sorceries, going into his graveyard, and Deathbright Shaman will remove 2 of them, put him to 1, and then kill him.
Yep.
So Tony Chu winning game 1 of this matchup. Wow.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Mulligan, I mean, he mulliganed for a hand that could win. He had a lot of disruption, a good clock, and drew reasonably well, you know. And the key point of that game, obviously, is Griffin's attack. I'm not sure if that was a mistake, but my instinct was immediately like, hold on, wait a minute, you're going to run out of attackers. You don't want to put a guy in the graveyard. And Tony's not really in a position to threaten you yet, so the Confidant could do some of your work for you.
Yep, I do agree with that. But now, it is trivia time. We're going to give away our full gear. And so again, ladies and gentlemen, we thought it was over, but it's not. We are going to play America's favorite game,
Name That Nephilim.
Taking a look at the old Goblin Charbelcher deck here that Griffin is playing. It's conveniently 4 colors. It's like, how is that possible?
It's base 2.
It's base 2. It has Taiga.
Yeah.
It's got some red rituals. It's got Tinder Wall. It's got Land Grant. But you look a little deeper, you see a Taxian Probe, which happens to be blue.
Technically
blue. And if you look a little deeper into the sideboard, you see a black card, an Infernal Tutor. So it is 4 colors. It is non-white. And if you are able to name the Nephilim that has no white mana in its casting cost, winner, chicken dinner. 12 months premium for you. Can you, in fact...
This was a good find, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You did good on
Thank
this
you.
one.
Can you name that Nephilim? We will find out after this match is over who's smart enough. Get your internet browsers ready.
Right.
Don't be too proud to Google this.
And avert your eyes.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
It's not good.
It's not. I think it's a 2/2. 4-mana 2/2. Doesn't do very much. Kind of embarrassing.
So, to our old sideboards here.
Yes, to the old sideboards we go. Tony, going to have 3 Duresses to bring in, 3 Engineered Plagues, going to name Goblins for Empty the Warrens. Where Owen had Pernicious Deeds, Tony has Engineered Plagues, more commonly played card. 2 copies of Tormod's Crypt, not going to do much here. An Ancient Grudge, probably not going to do anything unless it's against a Naked Belcher. Bloodbraid Elf to speed things up, but again, that's a little bit too slow. And then Umezawa's GTA, again, another card I think is too slow. So I think we're going to see 6. 3 Duress, 3 Engineered Plagues.
I like a Jide alright, just because if someone's on the empty plane, it can be good.
Yeah, if we get into the game that we're just in, again, then Umezawa's GTA is awesome.
Just game over on the spot.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the issue there. As far as cards that are going to come out here, I think that you're going to see... oh boy, when he's on the draw, I think Abrupt Decay, those are the first to go. 3 of those.
Punishing Fire.
Yeah, Punishing Fire will be the other 3. So I think those are the easiest 6 swaps.
That seems like easy enough.
Pretty clean swap. As far as Griffin, again, you guys do see a sideboard on the screen. Much like the last matchup, nothing to move in and out. Not going to board any of those Wish cards, and those Xantid Swarms and Pyroblast are Anti-Force Will and Anti-Mindbreak trap cards, and Tony don't got those.
Yeah, he's got his 8 anti-blue cards and then some bullets.
Yep.
So in matchups like this, you just shuffle and present.
Yeah.
And Griffin looks worn out. It's been a long day of Charbelcher. Probably a lot of sweats on it, on the draws, a lot of excitement. And you're so close to the title, I gotta say, I'm starting to feel, it's been a long weekend of doing some commentary, but I've been re-energized by Belcher's run through the elimination round.
Only Belcher can. Everybody gets on board eventually.
Tony asking for a little bit of divine intervention here now that he's on the draw and completely at the mercy
You are at the mercy of the cannon.
Here we go.
Griffin, go.
He's pump faked a few times before.
He has pump faked a few times. He's pump faking again. He's pump faking all over the place. All right, Mulligan.
Yeah. Looking for disruption.
All right, I can't see any of the Griffin's cards. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think Tony's dead on turn 1.
Okay.
I've got a feeling. Griffin hasn't showed much emotion during any of our games, but I got an inkling here.
It looks like you're right.
I see a Belcher.
I think you're right.
I see some cards that I've just got this itch.
If I actually, is there a land grant? All right, so there's some chance he fails on turn 1.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if I actually had 100% dead turn 1 in the finals, I would just play hand up.
The suspense. I like watching him mulligan.
Watching
Like
him
they-
digging,
yeah.
digging desperately for a duress or
Yeah,
thought.
make him go through the work of shuffling and then just kill him.
You're trying to like wear down his wrists or
Yep,
something.
that's right. So he has to wear he has to wear those wrist guards like Shaheen.
Every ankle.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Chrome Mox.
That's a mana.
Lotus Power.
2. 3, 4. So we have 4 mana up.
Yeah, he's got 4 mana available. He goes to 2. You can sack the. So what you do here is you sack the Tinderwall for 2. You cast a Desperate Ritual. See, that's not the way he wants to do it. He wants to cast the Desperate Ritual so he has a Lotus Petal and the Chrome Mox in play.
Yeah.
So then he has 2 mana always.
Yeah, he
And
doesn't
then
have to worry
whatever-
about duress or thought
Yes.
seize or.
Yeah, he always has a 2 mana ritual. So now he actually has to draw something like a Simian Spirit Guide or Rite of Flame. You know, things that he didn't have to draw. Now his 2 mana rituals are actually off. So if he draws a Desperate Ritual or if he draws a Pyretic Ritual, it's off. Also, Tinderwall's off now, where Tinderwall was on previously.
Yeah.
So now he actually has some misses. Tinderwall.
Double checks the Chrome Mox to make sure.
Oop.
There's a thought seize. It's starting to get a little dicey.
Both of them do the same thing. Tinderwall's probably the one that you are. Pyretic Ritual is the one. Desperate Ritual, excuse me, is probably the one you want to take.
It's the one that's easier to cast.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that. Leave him with the one. Again, this deck doesn't have a ton of green mana, and don't get me wrong, Griffin does have a ton of outs here.
And a lot of time.
Yeah. Draw step, Seething Song.
It's not one of them.
A small mismanagement of resources is all it takes to lose with this deck.
Yep.
Having a turn 1 kill there is nice.
So Deathrite Shaman activated at the end of the turn here, knocking Griffin to 18.
Gotta get that clock started sometime.
Yep.
Now, we saw Tony peel Maelstrom Pulse once before to take care of an Elspeth in an earlier feature match. He has 1 Maelstrom Pulse in his deck, and there is no better draw here than that card. You're going to see Bloodbraid Elf here. Spin the old wheel.
Here we go.
Engineered Plague.
Okay.
All right.
Not quite the right party for that one.
Yep.
That's all right.
Draw step. Chrome Mox. I think here you just imprint the Tinderwall. So the Tinderwall's a redraw. You have to play a spell here. No, I hate that because it turns on his discard.
Yeah.
It's another Engineered Plague here. In for 3. Griffin goes down to 12.
He has just Engineer Plague and Grove of the Burnwillows left over, so there it is.
Lion's Eye Diamond. Now I would play one of these Chrome Moxes here.
Yeah, because you might fail.
Yeah, you have to play one of those because if you fail, you're making things difficult on yourself. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right.
That's it.
A little operations mismanagement there, but fortunately, Taiga not to be revealed in the top few cards, and we're going to go on to a game 3.
Yep. So now Tony and Chu will be on the play, and those duresses and thought seizes are going to be mulligan for.
Yep. It's compressed, but it's exciting. And you know, Belcher, like a lot of other decks in Legacy, kind of gets the stigma of it's very simple to play. And just sitting here with you, the amount of angles that you're seeing are different lines of play, and the speed with which you see them. It's obvious that you have a lot of experience playing the deck because you're jumping to conclusions on things much faster than I am
Sure.
about paths to take and things he needs to protect himself from, and so I would not want to pick up Belcher cold. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not the most complicated of decks, but it's not as easy as people think either. There are some more intricate decisions that take place when your opponent does have a Force of Will, and how to go about beating one of those. Because a lot of people are under the impression that you can't beat a Force of Will when playing Belcher, but if you can cast your spells in such a fashion where Empty the Warrens is the plan that you're going on, and they have to decide which is the right ritual to counter, or if they're supposed to wait for the Belcher or the Burning Wish, and that part of it can be difficult for an opponent when they don't know exactly what's in your hand.
Right, because the sequencing that you need to do when you have your one Force of Will, the things you need to protect yourself against when you're worried about Goblin Charr or Belcher are different than the things you need to worry about when you're worried about Empty the Warrens.
Yep.
And so it's a bit of a guessing game. And so I would imagine with good sequencing and being conscious of your body language and such, you can actually get thing A to resolve when they're playing around thing B, and vice versa.
So I do see both players shuffling up here. Griffin will be on the draw, which is a little bit problematic for him, because those duresses and Thoughtseizes do become a lot better. But again, in this situation, this is the time where you keep a hand with multiple win conditions, less rituals, because your rituals are so redundant that you can draw into more of them. It's a lot harder to draw to your win conditions, which you have 11 of, than it is to your rituals, which is the rest of your deck.
49 of them.
Yeah, that's the entire rest of your deck.
I guess 45 of them the Gataxian probes.
Oh, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
It could be a ritual. And again, I hope you guys are searching for that Nephilim at home. It is a doozy.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah, it's got some
They're all equally doozied.
some great artwork and some nice abilities.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
All right.
Tony,
Looking for Duress or Thoughtseize.
do you have it? It's Griffin. Yep, has a Taiga.
Taiga Land Grant.
Yeah. And there's a Duress. Yeah.
Well, we know there's a Taiga.
I know there's a Taiga. Is there a Land Grant over there too? See Belcher, Desperate Rituals. You see.
Oh, he avoided the Land Grant.
So lucky. Goblin Charr Belcher, Desperate Ritual, Rite of Flame, Tinderwall, Lotus Petal, Pyretic Ritual, and a Taiga. So Belcher's likely going to be the card of choice here. And
Yeah,
then
there's
he's
no
got a lot of redraws.
Yeah.
Because he can generate 1, up to 2, up to 3, up to 4, up to 5. He can get up to 6 mana. He can, if he draws Burning Wish, he can go Burning Wish into Empty the Warrens here. So most of his draws are live here.
Although again, he has to worry, of course, be worried about Land Grant.
Yeah, you would
Can't
laugh.
make
laugh.
You can't make this up.
The old licking stick. Because we are going to see it.
Hey, if you're gonna put 4 Land Grants in your deck, maybe you should play more than 1 land.
Yeah, don't judge us. Tarmogoyf. Draw a card. Is that another Land Grant?
Gataxian Probe.
Oh,
Scope out the action.
what's in the box?
I think it's just creatures. I think Tony's hand is just.
No, it's not. It's not Tony's box.
Oh.
What's in our box?
Well, we're gonna find out.
We're
Tony's
going to find out
first.
Tony's box in just a moment.
Right. Oh yeah, it's.
Bloodblade, Tarmogoyf, and Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
Coast is clear.
All right, here we go. Perhaps it could be anything from a Charr Belcher to a Land Grant.
What were you? Last card? Elvish Spirit Guide.
Okay.
I think it's time to discard.
Fortunately, he has an easy one.
A real stinker. Oh, he's going to play that land? I guess he knows he doesn't have Wasteland.
Oh, okay, yeah, he knows it's just creatures in hand, so yeah, fell about a little bit.
I just don't like that because, again, your storm count is so important. And he lost game 1 by not being able to make enough goblins.
Sure.
So you very simply, I mean, to me, you just discard the land grant and you just move on, which is something that we saw in his last match. I mean, he can't block with that Tinderwall, and you never know if Tony left an Abrupt Decay or something like that. Draw a card. Yep. Okay, now this is too reminiscent of game 3 last time.
Ooh.
Gataxian Probe, Numero Dos.
What's going on over there?
Draw a card.
Is it? Is it? Oh, it's another ritual. Okay.
It's a red card.
It's in a seating song. Okay. Still got to hang out.
Yeah, you just pass here. No reason to play Lotus Petal. No reason to do anything crazy. If you need to discard, you just discard a land grant and move on. Dark Confidant finds a forest.
And he drew a
I think that was a him. Filthy. Here come the guys. Now, if he's going to be casting him first. I think you want to cast him. If he's going to be casting him, I think you want to cast him first, in case the chance that he discards an instant.
Yeah.
To make your Tarmogoyf a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think certainly that's the case.
And 7.
Okay.
We'll see what's leaving in just a moment. I think they're getting another die
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
The 6-sider ain't gonna get it done. 2. And number 4. So these have got to go. That's for Ritual and Land
Okay,
Grab.
all right.
You see Griffin shake his hand. Not bad.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
No.
Certain.
Draw a card. It is
Land grab.
Land Grab. Turn back. Tarmogoyf. Bobby. There's an Engineered Plague. All right, excuse me.
Empty.
Empty, thank you.
Now cut off.
That's out. That's not an option anymore. It's going to have to be Goblin Charbelcher. And I'm not quite sure if he doesn't have enough mana to play it and activate it now.
He also might not even survive this combat if Bloodbraid flips over a removal spell or a bolt. All right.
Engineered Plague. Thank you. Okay, so he's going to do that.
All right.
Come across here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is an attack for 10. Timberwall can get in front of something here.
It's either chump block, so Gataxian Probe is still a draw, or you block Dark Confidant and go to 2. And yeah, okay. Here we go.
If it has to
One
be
draw.
If it has to be if it has to be tonight.
Oh, that's,
that's
all
it.
right.
Tony Chu!
Wow, that was an awesome.
Our Star City Games Open Series Legacy Champion, Punishing Jund, does end up taking it down, defeating Griffin Hansen and his Goblin Charbelcher deck.